Right. It's about to get freaky. Alright. What is up, everybody? To whoever watches these videos and wants to learn from your boy. One moment while I turn on some music, cause come on now, do this shit and not. Watch first 5-10 minutes of this shit's just gonna be me trying to fucking put on music, bro. Let me see. I don't know what the fuck it called, man. What? My bad if you guys can hear that vibrating shit. I promise you I don't have one of those. Oh, back has been killing me, bro. I got this little massage chair shit. I had to do that real quick. Hold on. Let's turn on some music, man. What y'all know about fucking Juice WRLD, bro? What y'all know? I don't know nothing. Oh, hold on. Fucking UTI. Not the UTI I know. Anyways, alright. Trade recap, right? Let me get out of OBS again. Dude, so today was, dude, fucking hell. Asia session was a bitch, gang. Missed this big pump, followed with a down movement. Missed it all. I completely forgot about trading Asia session today. So I looked at the charts at like 7, right? Like 6:57. You can see. So after this dump, right, I'm thinking to myself, what's gonna happen next? Okay, we fill out all these orders, and we come into this. What is this? 15-minute? Yeah, 15-minute little. I don't know. I like to mark out some price ranges of where I think price is going to tap into, and we do get into this order block looking situation here. I marked out all of it, but this is a gap on the 1 hour as well. A gap on session open, which was closed here, gap here, or gap up here, and then closed bearish, get a big pump up, taking out a bunch of liquidity. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, great. What can happen next? We ended up reversing, coming back down, tapping into here, and now we're chopping. So going into this, right, I see that we get a big move down. We don't fill out this fair value gap. We reject off of this 15-minute gap here that you see, right? So this, I'm thinking to myself, okay, we don't fill this out. Can we get a reversal? Can we go back up and tap up into these highs after we dumped so much and filled out so many orders to the downside? We get such a big move down. I'm thinking this move down is over, right? And you could see, I did try going for shorts based off of this little continuation here. I'll tell you why it didn't work. We sweep out a high, so it looks like a really good continuation model, right? What I've noticed in the charts recently, right, is when we get a change in the state of delivery, we almost always reverse down and close below that change in the state of delivery, that move, so we can get a continuation higher. It happened earlier today, and now I'm noticing it happen again. So I'm thinking this is something we should pay attention to when we're looking for trades, right? So if we go to the 1 minute, which is where I was getting all my knowledge, right? Finding all my little information. So off of this move here, we inverse this gap. Okay, we get a 1 minute fair value gap, inverse fair value gap to the upside. We tap in, we reject, we get into equilibrium off of this, right? So you zoom in here, we get this inverse fair value gap off of this move here after rejecting into this order block that we had marked out previously and move up. And then we chop for a little bit. We create equal highs here. Pay attention to equal highs. Equal highs on 1 minute will almost always get smacked, always get hit. Whether it is, on the downside or to the upside, it'll always get hit. My light just feel like it got dark in here out of nowhere, and I turned that shit off. Whatever. Anyways, it'll almost always get hit. So I see these equal highs. I see that we reject off of this 1 minute gap. I'm thinking to myself, longs are possible here. The only reason I tried shorting earlier was because of this move down, which I mentioned before. We get a change in the state of delivery by inversing this gap and disrespecting this gap. We do close below equilibrium, but we come back up and continue right after that. And then on top of that, we come up and take out these equal highs, closing exactly at them, giving us another continuation or reversal or change in the state of delivery confirmation, right? So after we get this confirmation, price tells us, okay, we're ready to go up, but before we go up, we need to sweep out all recent liquidity. So what do is we come down, we get a break of structure, and what looks like a continuation model on the higher time frame looks like a continuation model on the 5 minute. We get our candle 1 and 2 creating a swing point with candle 3 lower with our confirmation and continuation, or we could assume that this would be an expansion. But since on the 1 minute we did get that change in the state of delivery on this 5 minute move, followed with chop and then another change in the state of delivery up here on these levels, right? And then we come back down and reverse and take this out. If it was a bearish market, if say this move up here never happened, this could have been a lot more applicable. But after getting that change in the state of delivery and then getting that move down, sweeping out low, that recent liquidity and tapping back into this price range down here that I marked out, we get a continuation to the upside. We get a 5 minute closure above this manipulation grab to fill out these orders. We close above this level. So if we go to the 1 minute, you'll see, right? We get a closure. Get out of here. We get a closure. Where was it? Above, off these levels. No, that wasn't the one. I apologize. We get a closure. What did I enter longs? Right around here. We get our rejection off of this with a continuation to the upside with this engulfing candle. We come up even higher and close above this price range here. This candle, I don't know what to really call this candle. I know it has a name. Usually when I see these, this is like a price range or a price point that you could see get hit again because we filled out orders in both directions and closed exactly where we opened. So that tells us, price was very, very fluctuate here. It went up and down quite a lot, and we didn't get any real closure. But closing above this price range tells us price decided to make a decision, and that decision was to be bullish. Okay, so we get a closure above. I know my charts look so fucked up right now. Just bear with me, okay? I mean, we can get rid of some of this, right? Like, that doesn't matter. This is what, 5 minute, 3 minute fair value gap or something, whatever. So the reason I lost this trade, I actually exited early on this trade. I exited right when we got up here and gave me a 5 minute confirmation. Because remember, this line right here is a level on the 5 minute of that manipulation move. You see it right here. We close above it on the 5 minute. That's even more confirmation that we're going up, right? Or that this was a swing point, candle 1, candle 2, candle 1, swing point with candle 2. Candle 3 was confirmation, candle 4 expansion, right? Or it should be 1, 2, 3, whatever. Get that expansion upwards. So put stop loss down here after exiting early in this short and take profit at a 1 to 2. Now, did it get hit? It did not. Why did this not work, right? That's what we need to ask ourselves in these situations. Why did this not work? Where would have been a better point of entry and what could I have targeted. So I actually did that already and found where I would have want to entered ideally. I'll get into that soon, right? So if we look, we get a big move up, closing above this level as well. Let me go to the 3 minute just to see. So we close right at this level, which is good. That gives us bullish confirmation that the fact that we're able to close on this here. But on the 3 minute, we have this price gap here. You could do a fair value gap up here. You could do it down here. I decided to do the whole thing because it's somewhat connected, right? We end up filling this out later on. But I exited right around here after rejecting off of it within equilibrium, which was my fault. It was at this point, yeah, it's like 8:36, 8:30. I'm thinking to myself, it's getting late, right? Do I really want to keep being in this trade, or can I just exit early, take my profits, and trade another day? Live to trade another day. That's what I decided to do. After rejecting up into this gap, we ended up coming up, and we failed to close up here, right, on this level, which tells us price rejected somewhat within here. You could say this candle, or this candle's price range, we rejected. Probably this one would be better. We reject off of that, we come down, we get a reversal, and then price decides to fill out more orders and then chop for the rest of the day. What could have been better? I mean, to be honest, the first trade, it looked really solid for shorts, but we had already dumped so much that believing it would go shorter or go down even more, probably not the best idea after we dump so many points. This is why situational analysis is so important. We're at 7,319 and we dump all the way down to 731, right? 18-point dump. Are we going to go lower, especially after rejecting into this in a bullish market at all-time highs? I don't know. We do eventually need the market to dump. It has to dump at some point. So that's kind of what I had going through my mind as well. If we look, I actually entered off of a swing point right here. I mean, this was legit just a liquidity grab. This is why higher time frame confirmation is so important, because we entered off this 5 minute, but on the 3 minute, you look, it just wicked out, and then we wick again, or from here to here, it's just a complete wick. So it's good to make sure I have confirmation on multiple time frames, right? Top down analysis, like I always preach. If you look, we entered shorts here on a bullish candle. That's why I always preach top-down analysis. You want confirmation on multiple time frames to align. The 1 minute and the 5 minute align, but those do not correspond with each other as well as the 1 minute or the 15 minute and the 1 minute, or the 5 minute and the hourly, right? Certain time frames align with each other in ways that might incline you or cause you to take a decision or to take a trade that doesn't align with multiple time frames, right? Ideally, you want your entire trade to be lined up from the hour to the 15 to the 5 to 3 to the 1. Now, that would be in a perfect world. It's not always going to be that way, but as long as you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, as long as you get 3 of those time frames aligned, like the hourly, the 15 minute, and the 1 minute, that's enough, confirmation there. Or you do the 15 minute into the 5 minute with 1 minute confirmation, and then you watch the 3 minute. The way you should treat the 1 minute is like as if it's giving you a bunch of knowledge, right? You're taking in a bunch of tickets, let's say, right? And each ticket has a different color. So, order blocks are red, fair value gaps are blue, swing points are green, stuff like that, right? And before you decide to cash in these tickets, the higher time frames will tell you which ticket is worth the most, right? If I get a 1 minute break of structure, I put that in the purple pile, and that 1 minute break of structure doesn't correspond with a higher time frame, or the higher time frame doesn't tell me that it has much power, or it really helps me in any way to decide where price is going or to take that trade, that ticket isn't worth much. As to a 1 minute continuation model after a manipulation grab on a higher time frame with a swing point on the 15-minute, that tells me, hey, this ticket probably has more power. I'm probably going to cash out on this ticket. Let me put my trade in, right? That's how I like to think about it. So if we want to get into what ideally I could have done today, let's go to the 1 minute and look at this trade I had marked out ideally. So get rid of, no, I want to keep that because I'm gonna have another video showing you guys how I journal my trades, just because I think it's pretty helpful. 1 moment. I think it's pretty helpful. I don't know if you guys can see this too well. Let me just move all this. Okay. So ideally, this would have been the best trade, right? This is almost around where I had entered before, but a little bit after with a tighter stop loss, right? Because the reason my trade didn't hit take profit is because I have a big stop loss. So my take profit, if you go for a 1 to 2, is just going to be higher, right? Ideally, this is what I should have done. You know, we get our swing points, everything aligns up, we inverse this gap after creating another manipulation move to the downside, rejecting off of this 1 minute fair value gap right here. Rejecting off of this, not closing at equilibrium or below it, with a continuation above these levels. Enter off of this candle here with stop loss at the recent manipulation low, targeting a 1 to 2. Boom. That would have been ideal. That is the trade I would like to hit. I want to catch more of these. But I am going to show you guys how I journal my trades. I'm going to do a separate video for that though, just because it's a process, and if you're interested, you can go check it out. But other than that, that is today's trading. Let's say I went 1 for 1 on New York session, caught a dub, nice little 450. 1 for 2, I should say. I guess I exited early, but that's still in profit, still a winning trade. Even though I did exit early. So 1 for 2 on Asia session. And I think overall on the day, I'm probably up 450. I think I made 80 something dollars in this trade. When I exited early, I lost $137. So if we do some math, right, this is just rough. I mean, I'd have to go on my account and see exactly how much was made, but let's say 450 plus 80 bucks, 530 minus 137 point, I think it was like 0.25. See, I can remember the losses like that, can't remember the wins. Isn't that crazy? 392.75. That's how much was made today. I was in drawdown on my account. I was in the negatives, so, or not negative, I should say, but I was down. So made all the money back that I've lost recently on this Lucid account. But overall decent. Live to trade another day. That's what was going through my head during Asia session, just because I know I was late to the market, late as fuck. But it is what it is. Other than that, if you guys need any one-to-one clothes, let me know. But yeah, I'm going to journal my trades, so you guys can go check that out. Peace.